What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about why I believe Tee Higgins should be traded from the Cincinnati Bengals and where I believe Tee Higgins should go if the Cincinnati Bengals do in fact trade Tee Higgins. Now, without further ado, please like, please subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. So, Tee Higgins on March 11, 2024 requested a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals because they franchise tagged him and did not give him the contract that he wanted, which was a long-term deal on the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Tee Higgins, in my opinion, is probably one of the most underrated wide receivers I've ever seen in the NFL, and he is probably one of the best contested catcher in the league when it comes to deep ball and getting basically contested catches from multiple receivers. And I'll be honest, Tee Higgins did have a down year this season. He had 42 receptions, 656 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 15.6 average catch. And I'll be honest, Tee Higgins is a really good wide receiver too on the Cincinnati Bengals, but in many teams, Tee Higgins would actually be the #1 receiver on multiple teams, and he could be #1 receiver on a championship team. It's just a matter of fact of which team he could be on and which team would basically trade for him and give him a long-term contract. So I have some teams in mind that might make the trade for Tee Higgins. So the #1 I was thinking about is a lot of people have said that Justin Jefferson, going to the Cincinnati Bengals. People are joking about them. Some people are pretty serious about it. And here's what I say: if the Vikings trade Justin Jefferson to the Cincinnati Bengals for Tee Higgins and a first-round pick, I mean, you might have to consider that if you're the Cincinnati Bengals and if you're the Minnesota Vikings, pairing him up with so Tee Higgins would basically go to the Minnesota Vikings. He would be in an offense with Jordan Addison. He would also be with their tight end, T.J. Hawkinson, which would be an insane trio right there. With a new quarterback, they're probably going to have to get a new quarterback in the draft, probably like J.J. McCarthy or maybe Bo Nix. Or maybe they trade up and get Jaden Daniels or Drake May. You never know. But the Minnesota Vikings could be a good option for Tee Higgins, but that's kind of bottom of the list. I don't think that's a realistic trade. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think Tee Higgins, another good option that Tee Higgins can go to is probably the Kansas City Chiefs. And people are going to be like, wait, they're rivals, right? But I think that's basically between Jamar Chase and the Chiefs. But I think Tee Higgins on the Kansas City Chiefs would be amazing. Patrick Mahomes would basically unlock Tee Higgins. And you're basically giving the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes a #1 receiver, which they really, really need. Now, do I think the Chiefs are going to pull the trigger and probably go out and trade for Tee Higgins? Probably not. They've already proven that they can win a Super Bowl without a star wide receiver. They literally did with Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Rashid Rice, who was probably their young and up-and-coming receiver. They still got Travis Kelce. So I think the Chiefs don't really need Tee Higgins, but what a duo that would be, Patrick Mahomes and Tee Higgins. That would easily maybe cement themselves as a three-peat and maybe even further elongate their dynasty. But in all honesty, I don't think this is going to happen, but Tee Higgins on the Chiefs would be insane. Now, another team that I see Tee Higgins going to is the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills just signed Curtis Samuel as their wide receiver 3. You have Stephon Diggs as your wide receiver 2, or wide receiver 1, and then you put Tee Higgins in that offense as your wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1B with Stephon Diggs. I could see that. Tee Higgins has had a lot of playoff success, especially with Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. He's played really well in big-time games, and we've seen Stephon Diggs not elevate in big-time games. So Tee Higgins could be that gap when it comes to the big moments. And imagine that trio: Stephon Diggs, Tee Higgins, and Curtis Samuel, and then you have Dawson Knox as your tight end. That Bills offense would be insane with Josh Allen, and giving basically Josh Allen everything he needs to go out and probably go and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Because let's be honest, Stephon Diggs kind of sold in that game, and without Stephon Diggs not basically missing that catch, I think the Buffalo Bills might have won the Super Bowl right there. But that's a what if. But I think in all honesty, I think this is really realistic because I think the Cincinnati Bengals could realistically trade for Tee Higgins and give a good package. Might even have to give up like maybe Stephon Diggs, but I don't know if they would give him up for that. But I don't know. That duo with Josh Allen would be insane. Now, I have 2 more options for Tee Higgins going to. I think one that I really, really want, and me being a Chicago Bears fan, I really think that the Chicago Bears could trade for Tee Higgins, giving up maybe a second-round pick in 2025 draft. In the 2025 draft, because the Chicago Bears do have 2 second-round picks due to the Panthers trade in the second round next year, and then they could also maybe give up a 3rd rounder and then maybe some maybe a really good player for the Bears. But I feel like putting Tee Higgins in that Chicago Bears offense would be really good. When you put him with Justin Fields, if they keep Justin Fields and get Caleb Williams, and then you have DJ Moore, maybe they get Marvin Harrison Jr. or Roma Dunze, whatever route the Chicago Bears take. You have Cole Kmet. That offense would just be electric with Tee Higgins in there. And Tee Higgins is basically could be the wide receiver 1 in that team, but I still think that DJ Moore is better than him. But a 1A, 1B duo would be really insane, and that's what the Chicago Bears really need. They need another good wide receiver to pair up with DJ Moore and make that dynamic duo. So I think this could be a realistic trade option for the Chicago Bears. But will they do it? I don't think so. I think they're going to roll with Roma Dunze or Malik Neighbors, and I think they could. They probably if they even trade the number 1 overall pick, I think they're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. So I don't think it's realistic, but man, would that offense be good with Tee Higgins on the Chicago Bears. Now, lastly, I think this is the most realistic one I could see. I don't know if this is realistic, but this could be really good. And he really said in an interview that he would love to play with Jalen Hurts. So putting him on the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, would be insane. Pairing him up with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, but maybe the Eagles would have to give up either Devonta Smith or A.J. Brown, which I don't think they will. I think they really like that duo, but if they don't have to and they can give us some draft picks, Howie Roseman will probably fleece the Bengals maybe and get Tee Higgins on the Cincinnati Bengals would be insane. Probably the best wide receiver trio in the league with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Tee Higgins. You basically have 3 receivers that are basically could be number 1 receivers on any given team, and then you pair them up with Dallas Goedert, and then that backfield with Saquon Barkley. Like, the Eagles would be electric and be an insane team. But you guys comment down below. What do you guys think the Philadelphia Eagles should do? Do you think they should trade for Tee Higgins, or do you think the Bengals should keep Tee Higgins and maybe try to get a deal done with Tee Higgins? I mean, I'm pretty sure the Bengals are probably going to trade him because, again, Jamar Chase is going to request a bag next year. You're already paying Joe Burrow a ton of money. I think Tee Higgins is probably gone. Cincinnati Bengals fans, I'm sorry, man, but that's probably the harsh reality.
Nothing but smiles.
We never know. Tee Higgins might stay with the Bengals. He really likes it there in Cincinnati, but we'll see. That's going to wrap it up for this video. Please comment, please like, please subscribe.
How big is that in just setting the tone in these games?
Man, that's huge, especially when the defense go out there and get a stop and we can go up. That's huge, man. You know, that's what we're looking forward to do each and every single game.
We got 4 straight wins, but the last 2 are clearly against 2 of the best teams in the NFL. Do you feel like these last 2 weeks have reestablished where the Bengals are in the pecking order of things?